Chapter 29. "He's just a useless beggar, but he can fight," Stephen said. Although he didn't go to Tyler and Maria's wedding, he heard about what happened that day. Kieran glared at Sebastian. "Why are you interfering with my fun? Do you want to die? How thick you look! How dare you touch my wife!" The desire to kill can be seen in Sebastian's eyes. Sensing that Lillian was in danger, he hurried upstairs. She was furious when she found out that Kieran was planning to rape Lillian. "Is he your wife?" Kieran was surprised. Stephen immediately spoke. "They got married just a few days ago, but they just reconciled." "Interesting." Kieran grinned. "In that case, stand aside and watch how I make your wife live." As he spoke, he reached for Lillian's clothes again, ignoring Sebastian. "Don't try me." Sebastian threw a punch towards Kieran. Undeterred, Kieran grinned and met Sebastian's punch with a punch. Their fists collided in the air. The sound of broken bones echoed through the air along with a faint thud. "Ah!" Kieran screamed the next moment. One of his arms was broken. He was surprised and angry. As a mid-level warrior, he could fight a dozen people effortlessly. Therefore, he did not take Sebastian seriously. He didn't expect Sebastian to be this strong. The force of Sebastian's punch broke one of his arms, leaving him helpless but calling for help. Guards. However, no one came despite his shouts. The silence outside was eerie. "No one is coming to help you." Sebastian walked up to Kieran, his eyes full of anger. "You're right there. My father is Andrew Miller, the king of the underworld of Ravenview. Get on your knees and apologize right now. Otherwise you'll regret it." Kieran sighed. "You will have to pay dearly for your attempt on my wife. I don't care if your father is king or god of the underworld." Sebastian appeared in front of Kieran in an instant, and he slapped him across the face. Kieran jumped at the force of Sebastian's slap. He slammed into the wall before he fell to the ground, and he spat out a few pieces of his bloody teeth. "Sebastian, you better stop. Mr. Miller will tear you to pieces if something bad happens to Kieran." Stephen came over to hold Sebastian. He wasn't worried about Kieran, and he wasn't worried that Sebastian might get hurt. He just doesn't want to feel sorry. "You should be taught a lesson too," Sebastian shouted. He also slapped Stephen in the face. Stephen was stunned and fell to the floor. "Don't come any closer. What do you need?" Kieran has nowhere to go. Fear can be seen in his eyes. He didn't expect Sebastian to be so brave. He wasn't even afraid of her. Without bothering to explain, Sebastian kicked Kieran. Kieran's eyes immediately widened, and he fell to the floor writhing in pain. The pain he feels is unfathomable. Sebastian stomped on Kieran's face and shouted, "It's just a warning. I'll kill you if it happens again." He ignored Kieran and instead approached Mian. He lifted Lillian's dress and pressed his hand to her stomach, using his energy to release the drug from Lillian's body. Soon, Lillian regained consciousness. He wondered. "Sebastian, what are you doing here?" "Do you still remember what happened earlier?" Sebastian asked. Lillian's eyes widened. He immediately felt for his clothes. "Don't worry, no one moved you." Lillian breathed a sigh of relief. He noticed Stephen unconscious, and Kieran still writhing in pain. "What did you do to him?" Lillian asked, confused. "Broke his arm and threw him," replied Sebastian coldly. "What? You're cruel." Lillian was surprised. "Am I on their side?" Sebastian asked, clearly upset. "No, I'm afraid. He's Mr. Miller's son. He'll kill us when he finds out what you did," Lillian said, her face pale. "Broke his arm and threw him," replied Sebastian coldly. "What? You're cruel." Lillian was surprised. "Am I on their side?" Sebastian asked, clearly upset. "No, I'm afraid. He's Mr. Miller's son. He'll kill us when he finds out what you did," Lillian said, her face pale. Chapter 30. "Don't worry, everything will be fine." Sebastian lightened his heart. "Everything is so messed up and then you say everything is fine?" Lillian frowned at Sebastian. I know you like to make trouble, but the size of the problem you made today is a problem. Mr. Miller only let you go last time because Miss Green helped you. But this time even he can't help you. You killed his son. He won't give us this chance. Sebastian didn't care. I'll take care of it. I won't let it bother you. Stop your nonsense. Nothing. You have an idea of how powerful Mr. Miller, Lillian yelled as she called the emergency hotline. If Kieran could get treatment, maybe his anger would be less intense. Andrew Lillian noticed that Sebastian still wasn't leaving after she hung up. He hurriedly pulled Sebastian out of the room, but saw several bodyguards lying in the hallway unconscious. It was obvious to him with just one look that Sebastian was the one who did it. Hurry up and get out of Ravenview. Go far away, don't come back, Lillian said. How are you? Sebastian asked. You're the one who hurt them, so I don't think they'll give me much trouble. Hurry up and leave. It's the end of you if you don't leave now. Lillian was nervous. All right, be careful. Sebastian left immediately. He is not afraid. He just doesn't want to reveal his identity. According to the latest information he had, there were many heavyweights who secretly went to Ravenview. He bet most of them were wealth. He needs to stay hidden in order to move. Lillian sighed. He was relieved, but his eyes filled with frustration at the same time. Lillian, he's just a silly pretender. What else do you expect from him? He whispered to himself. He shook his head and hurried away. He wasn't directly responsible for what happened to Kieran, but Andrew was sure to make him pay when he found out that the trouble happened because of him. He had to get out before Andrew arrived. Soon, Andrew received the news. A core of strength screamed when he saw the tragedy that had befallen Kieran. Even the others below trembled in fear when they heard his deafening scream. The bidding ended suddenly due to the incident. Kieran was taken to the hospital, but the outcome was not good. How is my son? Andrew grabbed the doctor's collar as he came out of the surgery room. The doctor's voice trembled as he answered, Mr. Miller, your son is safe. His broken arm has been reattached and fixed. Unfortunately, his penis has been severely damaged and it will never heal. What? Andrew slapped the doctor's face and shouted, You're useless, I'll kill you. Mr. Miller, please don't kill me. I did everything I could. The doctor fell to his knees, shaking violently with fear. He knew who Andrew was. It was very easy for Andrew to judge him. The doctor immediately ran away when Andrew shouted, Run away! At that moment, one of his staff approached Andrew and said, Mr. Miller, according to Stephen, it was Miss Smith's wife, not Sebastian, who hurt Mr. Kieran. Sebastian? Is he the young man Natalie saved a while ago? Andrew asked. Yeah, that's him, Bryce Willis replied. He has no shame. My anger will not subside until I teach him a lesson. Andrew's expression turned ugly. He was really angry. In fact, his son was kidnapped. Catch that beast right now. Bring him here alive, and Lillian too. Bring her here, Andrew shouted. Chapter 31. That boy ran away after hurting Mr. Kieran. We have no idea where he is now. I've sent all our people to find him, and I'm sure we'll catch him soon, but... Okay, go ahead, Andrew ordered. Lillian is the daughter of the Smith family. She returned home after the incident. I don't think she will show up for a long time. Why do we have to wait for him to show up? Go straight to his house and arrest him. Kill anyone who gets in the way, Andrew said angrily. Bryce stopped worrying after hearing Andrew's order. He immediately led his men to Lillian's house. Lillian, what really happened? Why is Kieran suddenly beaten up? Who the devil did that? Asked Evelyn, genuinely surprised. The truth. Lillian hesitated, but she still told them the truth. What? Evelyn was surprised. The others were also stunned. That fool's face is really thick. It would have been enough to anger the Lisbons and Cadwells in the past, but how did he have the courage to cripple Mr. Miller's son? Don't let him sympathize with us even if he wants to die, Evelyn shouted in fear. Are you serious, Lillian? I don't want to criticize you, but look at what you did. You chose that useless idiot over Mr. Harris. He's not only useless, he's also arrogant. Look at him now. Our whole family will suffer because he insulted Mr. Miller, shouted Lucas. Belinda was very angry. Grandpa entrusted the company to you, but what did you do? You didn't help the family, you caused a lot of problems. I think you should be fired from your position as CEO immediately. Let Lucas take charge. He's definitely 10 times better than you. That's enough. Stop fighting, Elijah said angrily. What happened has happened. Fighting will not help to solve the problem. 11. Dad, the solution here is simple. Sebastian hurt Kieran. Let's just hand him over to Mr. Miller and we'll cut all ties with him. That's right. Where's the bastard Sebastian? Evelyn turned to Lillian. He's gone. He's probably far away from Ravenview now, Lillian said. What? He really ran away? What are you waiting for? Call him and send him back here. Evelyn snorted. We're doomed if Mr. Miller doesn't find him. Your mom is right. Call her now, Ronan snapped. Elijah remained silent, but it was obvious that he agreed with their opinion. He had high hopes for Sebastian at first, but he is too quarrelsome. He will surely bring trouble to them eventually. The others, who had always disliked Sebastian, became even more angry. Lillian shook her head. I can't do that. He will be destroyed if I do. You fool! Stop worrying about him while we struggle to save ourselves, Evelyn said angrily. Yes, there are a lot of good men out there. Why are you so crazy about a useless bastard? Belinda said sarcastically. He did that to save me, said Lillian. Kieran teases you because he loves you. I understand that, but Sebastian deserved to die when he attacked Kieran and paralyzed him, Belinda hissed. Lucas nodded sincerely. Mom's right. Honestly, Lillian, you should be honored that Kieran likes you. It's better for you to date Kieran than that loser. Ronan was furious. You know nothing. If only you had agreed with Kieran, we wouldn't be in this dire situation right now. All of you. Lillian sobbed as tears rolled down her cheeks due to anger. Suddenly, a servant ran up to them and shouted in panic, Oh, the Shadow Tiger clan is here. What? The whole family stood up. I could see the fear and anxiety in their eyes. Chapter 32. By the way. Bryce kicked the assistant to the side as he entered with his men. Elijah hurried over with a condescending smile. Good day, gentlemen of the Shadow Tiger clan. I am Elijah, the head of the Smith family. May I know why you are here? Even though he was the head of the most prominent family in the top 4, Elijah still bowed before the Shadow Tiger clan. The Smith family is very rich, but the Shadow Tiger clan is full of criminals. On top of that, the Supreme Nexus knew them, something Elijah knew he shouldn't run into. We are under Mr. Miller's orders to take Miss Smith back with us. Miss Smith, come with us. Bryce seemed polite, but at a signal from him, his men immediately surrounded Lillian. They were ready to take him by force. Mister, Lillian had nothing to do with what happened to Kieran. If you need revenge, just go after Sebastian, Elijah explained. Sebastian is your son-in-law, isn't he? You should be thankful that I won't take you all with me. I'll kill you if you dare interfere. Bryce pushed Elijah to the side. Don't hurt my family. I'm coming with you. Lillian knew there was nothing else she could do. He just went along obediently. Elijah and his parents didn't dare to intervene, while Jamie, Belinda, and Lucas laughed secretly. Meanwhile, Sebastian listens to Natalie's report in his office. Mr. Wilder, we have news about the amulet. Where is it? Sebastian asked hurriedly. It's at a pawnshop outside of town. An elderly man mortgaged it, answered Natalie. Take me there right now. Sebastian looked anxious. It has to do with wealth. His power would be extended even more once he got it, but it would be a big problem if the enemy got hold of it. Natalie took him to South Mount. They arrived in 30 minutes. He pointed to the forest in the middle of the mountain and said, Mr. Wilder, there's the pawn shop. This is the first time I've seen a pawn shop inside the forest. Sebastian seemed interested. This pawn shop has illegal businesses. There are a lot of things here that the public shouldn't see, Natalie explained. Interesting. I'm going up alone. Wait for me here, Sebastian said. Come with me. There is no need. I have a strange feeling, so it's better if I'm alone. Sebastian didn't let Natalie go and left alone. His sixth sense was amazing, and his intuition told him that this trip was not going to go well. Although Natalie is also a warrior, she is still a novice. While he could take on some ordinary people, he was no match for a skilled opponent. If she goes along, she won't be of any help to Sebastian if they face any danger. Instead, he will be a burden. There is only one winding road up the mountain. Sebastian moved quickly and immediately reached the forest. The narrow path inside the forest opened up to him. Colorful wildflowers line the side of the road, emitting a mesmerizing fragrance that intoxicates passers-by. Sebastian walked along the road for about 300 feet, and he saw a 3-story hut. Based on its dilapidated appearance, the hut seems to have been there for a long time. There is a plaque on the door that says, Hexatheon Pawn Shop. Sebastian entered the pawn shop. Because it is inside the forest, the surroundings are dark. It's quiet here. There are murals of terrifying mythical beasts hanging on the walls, emitting a hair-raising air. A weak-minded person will definitely be scared when they come here. There is a candle burner on the counter. 3 candles were lit that emitted a strange smell. Is anyone here? Seeing that no one was there, Sebastian called out. No one answered him. Before he could call again, something shook behind the counter. A robot holding a tray with a cup of tea and a letter appeared in front of him. Written on the paper, just a moment. Sebastian took the cup of tea and inhaled it. When he confirmed it wasn't poison, he took a sip. After that, he immediately inspected the murals. These are pictures of mythical animals. It's really strange that this business hasn't gone bankrupt yet with the way the owner treats their customers. Welcome, a hoarse voice echoed from behind him. Sebastian was shocked. He didn't realize that there was someone behind him then.